Hello there everybody, and excuse the peculiarities of my English. And this time we are taking the Rafales from the Halli Air Force Base to the Suursaari or Hogland area. I have speeded up the things because this video is going to be rather long, and I will continue to do so for quite some time and in many places. Because how do you want to do the strike on Hogland? I have first sent a Rafale B into the area for the blue line to act as a scout or the intelligence asset on the area, so that we can pick out the assets of the Russia in the area. And as you can see right around when you started the radar, you can start to see all the assets on site. And just the using passive means like the Talios pod did not pick them up right away, although of course you did see them with the Spectre electronic defensive suite. And I'm doing this just because so that we have like eyes on the target when we are bringing the strike force in from the north. And as you can see here, I'm making the area where I want the scalps to be fired. The scalp is a stealth cruise missile, which is I'd say on an expensive side of taking apart the air defenses, but yeah, that's what we have. And there are going to come like a flight of 3 Rafale Cs to this red area called Pisto, from which they will start firing the Scalp EGs. Each will be carrying 2 missiles. And with these, I hope that we will take part the air defenses of the area. And as you see there, that when the Rafale B is nearing the area, the S-300 system is starting to fire at it. And in fact, I lost this airplane once. In about 10 rounds I have done this, so yeah, it's possible that the S-300 can shoot it down, but it's really infrequent because of the Spectra suite and everything. But of course you can't succeed all the time. And as the Commandant 1 is swarming and trying to avoid the S-300 system's missiles, I changed the area a bit so that it stays a bit farther away from the island, so that it has time and room to maneuver. And still quite high at about 30,000 feet or 10 kilometers. So yeah, it's not in like low, so that it has all kinds of room all the way. And as you can see, the Russians are pretty liberal with their missiles, and there's like a lot of stuff flying out. Okay, now that sound meant that the 3 Rafale Cs are now airborne, and they will be coming from the north to the red area. And I'm trying to get the Commandant 1 or the recon aeroplane to do its rounds, so that we can get some kind of a picture of the area. And as I have mentioned earlier, with this simulation, I don't get why the airplanes sometimes start like doing honorary laps around the area so that they can get shot down. And I sometimes have very hard time of trying to get them away from there, but there you have it. That's what's going on. And as you see, and in the earlier iterations, it usually comes to around 10% of hit rate that they have with these missiles against the Western airplanes, but so it's not unheard of that they drop an airplane, but it's quite infrequent. Okay, now we got the Rafale doing the rounds, and as you see, there are still quite a few yellow question marks in the area, which means that there is the fighter has detected something, but it's not quite sure what there is. Like now the S-300 system is identified, as is the surface missile station in the north end of the island. But other than that, there's a detection about the SAM-3, that they know that there is a air defense missile system present, and now I marked it as hostile so that I can target it more later on. And now I'm trying to get the Rafale to do the flybys so that it goes between the 2 points, and gives us more info on the area here. And as you can see, there's 2 question marks which both present some kind of a defensive asset on the area, as do the in the 2 yellow question marks on the South Islands as well. Yeah. So now I kind of forced the Commandant 1 to go to the route point 374, so that I finally get it going on the track I have planned for it. And at the same time, the fighters with Scalp missiles are coming from the north, and they will be carrying 2 Scalp EG missiles each. So there they come, and I'll be trying to hit all the air defense assets, like that air defense assets that are protecting the S-300 system, with them, because they also, well, they are Panzer systems which have close-in defense systems, and they quite frequently shoot bombs and missiles out of the sky, which is how do you say, it's totally realistic, and that's what happens in the real world. And you could do a saturation attack and just like lob stuff there so long that they don't have time to reload, and eventually you will be getting stuff through, but that is a bit wasteful way of going about it. But the Scallop EG missile is a stealth cruise missile, so usually you can fire them and get good results, so that the radars can't pick them up soon enough, so that they have a good ratio of shooting them down before the target. But I am going to leave the surface missile site and the area radar site to later, so that I won't be using the Scallop EG missiles on them, but rather drop the AASM or hammer bombs on them. And now you can see yellow or sort of orangey circle around the Commandant 1 or Rafale B. That is the range of payway bombs that this Rafale is carrying. And also you can, when I pick out the Rafale Cs coming from the north, you can see how much wider range the Scalp EGs have. So basically I would have been good to shoot the Scalp EGs right when I was airborne from the Halli Air Force Base, but I wanted to get this eyes on the sky so that I can target these things better, which is at least more realistic way of going about it than just like coming close and started shooting. And of course, in real life terms, this would take like quite a few hours to analyze the pictures and start picking targets and start weaponeering the missiles on the side or the targets. But this is what we have now. And okay, there's the Halli Air Force Base. It's in close by Jyväskylä, and they had this airfare like 2 years ago. I think there's a pretty good videos from that area. Oh yeah, and the Rafale is going to come and have a fly in end of August in Kauhava, where there is a airfare there, and that's really nice. I'm going to go and see the Rafale and all the other fighter candidates that are there. Okay, the Rafale Cs are now coming into the range, and if recollection serves, I had some trouble of getting them to fire on the targets I wanted them to fire, and that's sort of a bummer every now and then. Let's see, well, I hope it picked it up now with the black cursor, but we will see it soon. And the radar installation in the center of the island, it's pretty much where the place is, but of course to my knowledge there is no prepared missile firing sites on the area, so all the else is just something I made up. And of course I tried to see that the defensive missile batteries are at the high ground so that they get a good field of view and also good fire area of fire. But of course the island itself is pretty steep, so part of the island will be blocking some of the missiles or some of the rays that are coming. Okay, now there's the first salvo of Scalp EGs coming. Let's see how they do. And I targeted them on the SAM-3 side, for sort of opening up the island from the north so that you get some kind of a passageway to lob the missiles in. The S-300 system is sort of like a centerpiece of air defense division, as the Russians like to call them. So it does not have a close-in weapon systems to protect itself. So that is why there is these two Panzer systems there. And also now I sent airborne 3 more fighters with the AASM or hammer bombs, so that they can take care of the rest of the defenses on the island. And let's see if it's picking up. Well, they have fired, the 3 Rafales have fired like half of their scallops, so there should be some stuff coming into view. Like, okay, there's something coming, but we don't see. Well, yeah, now it came in the picture, and you can have the scallop EGs to do all kinds of routes, so that you could basically, if you are really careful and plan this through, you could get a saturation attack going as well, and that would maybe be the real world way to go about it. But as I have now practiced this scenario with Rafales quite a few times, this approach I'm using should work pretty fine nevertheless. So now you can see that there are like 9 scallop EGs in the air, and let's see what kind of effect we get with them. So the SAM number 3 is one target, and also the S300 that is red in the southern end of the island is the second target. And if I can get them down, the island is pretty much open for do whatever you will with it. And as I wrote in the part, this is a pretty like a viable scenario for the HX program, because there is a radar in the island. So of course, if the situation in Northern Europe and around Baltics come to be more delicate, I think they will be putting some sort of missile systems in the area just to like stir the pot. And this is also what I think they would do in any kind of a run scenario. Okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, and we have a hit. Yeah, it was destroyed. So basically we just like wasted 2 more missiles, but okay, there are missiles coming from the south again. And now you see that there are a couple of more missiles now over the radar installation. They are coming in. And what happens? The Panzer destroys another. The Panzer closing system destroyed both of the missiles, which might very well happen. So it's not like it's more like a very remote possibility. It is a distinct possibility, and the way you will absolutely get around it is that if you saturate the defenses so that the Panzer system just runs out of a capability to process targets, or capability, the number of missiles, or the amount of rounds in the guns, that it's just unable to destroy the bombs or the missiles inbound. And I think this was what happened with the Israeli F-35s in Syria a couple of years ago, and they just like bide their time until the Panzer was loading, and then they went in and whacked it for the good measure. Okay, and now I retargeted the area, the S300 system, and there's now some missiles inbound, like one scallop was fired from there, and I think they will be firing 2 more shortly. Yeah, and there are the bomb droppers. Tater 95 is coming in, so that's the like how do you say, the end game coming in. And as you can see now in the southern little islands, the other book system is identified, and the other one is identified that there is a SAM system present on the island. And there's one scallop inbound, and I think, yeah, there comes other two. So I'm not quite sure why it does it that way, so that they don't fire them as a single salvo, because it doesn't seem that they like hold a really tight formation there. Okay, now there's missiles coming again. They are trying to get the scallop EG that is inbound, and the gun missed. And I think we had a hit on the S300 system. It's yellow, so it's like lightly damaged. It's something of a damaged, but it's still I think very much operational. And well, we can't see where the rest of the missiles are coming, but they should be coming into the view quite soon now. And yeah, there you can see it's slight damage there, and no fires. So I think it's operational, and you have to remember that the vehicles are somewhat armored, so you need a pretty decent hits to get them. Okay, and now there's the bomb droppers with 18 SBU 54 hammers, which is basically a M82 500-pound bomb with the French SAGEM guidance units attached. And the guidance unit it's really good. It gives the hammer way more range than, for example, pay wave, as it's evident here on the Rafale B that is doing the route between these islands on the middle of the picture. Okay, let's see how we do with scallops. And well, we know that there's anti-aircraft artillery under the yellow question mark, but I don't think they can. Yeah, the puncher fired but missed, but I think it got the other one, so I think it's like a 50%. So now there's medium damage at the S300 system. So I think it's affecting their capabilities at least. Okay, and now there's 18 bombs on the side and 3 bomb droppers. So now we just start targeting. First I want to take out the surface-to-surface missile site, and I think that takes about 2 hammers, and then a couple of more to the. Okay, now you see as I have picked the Rafale Cs how much larger the area with the hammers is, and there's now 2 bombs airborne already. And the SSM system in the north of the island is pretty much all alone there, left out of dry, so this is like foregone conclusion that it will be destroyed with this salvo. The Rafales do have 2,000-pound bombs or the penetrator BLU-109s in the inventory, but of course they are not really good in this kind of scenario, because the BLU-109 is a penetrating warhead. So you would get a really big, nice holes on the bedrock of the island, but it's just not what you wish to have when you want to destroy radar installations or vehicles on the ground. Okay, and they dropped two hammers, and now I'm targeting the S300 system with a couple of more hammers, maybe like 3 or 4, just to be on the safe side, because as the ammunitions go, the bombs would be pretty cheap. Of course they are not for free, but considering that if you can take like 7 million euro system or vehicle out with one bomb, that it's like maybe 10,000 euros, 20,000 or 30,000 euros. That's nothing. It's really cheap going. And okay, now you see that there is like 5 hammers coming in from the north, and I think they are heading for the maybe the radar installation, but definitely to the S300 system on the south end of the island. And one thing about this Command Modern Warfare simulation, it's sometimes, if you have not picked the flight you are trying to visualize, it's hard to tell where the fighters are going. Like now it seems that there are 2 fighters way out into the east from the third one, so it's sometimes a bit hard to make out what is happening exactly. And there's still more missiles coming, so that they are trying to take out the bombs as they are coming, but it is pretty hard. And there's like a load of hammers coming now. But yeah, I don't get why the 2 fighters are coming so close, and the one is flying in the area it's supposed to be. Okay, there was some like that got intercepted of the bombs. Okay, they took out the Panzer system. So now all the rest in the island is pretty much undefended, because even though the book system's range goes beyond the area, goes beyond the northern end of the island, it still doesn't leave much room for error. They have like 1 missile they can fire. And now I really don't get why is this one fighter going, well, it dropped a bomb, but now it doesn't need to be laser guiding or anything, so they could just fly back north to be on the harm's way. So I don't really get why the one fighter is coming so much farther south. Okay, now the main radar has been taken down, and the fighter would be good to go, turn north and would be good to go, but for some reason or another it doesn't turn. It starts doing honorary laps on the area. Okay. So there was a second hit on the radar side, so I think it's pretty devastated. And now I'm trying to get all these 3 Rafales from the group to drop some ordnance on the S-300 systems, and then we can get out of the way. But well, but still we have the problem with this one fighter going around the island like all the time, and it's not a very good place to be. It would be good to go fly back to north, but for some reason it's doing like patrol laps there and staying in the harm's way. Of course, the Spectra system is very good in avoiding the missiles, but nothing is perfect. So you are going to fail sooner or later if you are doing that kind of shit in the simulation, or let alone in the real life. So yeah, and well, that would be really stupid flying, because you could get out of the dodge and be getting to a new release, so that you can do a straight line basically towards the target and then turn and just see your handiwork there. Now I'm trying to force them to fly that route there, so that I would get this one fighter from the south to join the rest of the group, and so that they form up, and then try to do the last drop. And now it would be again like clear to go, but well, let's not beat the dead horse. So as you can see, these systems have quite a big amount of missiles they can use for, and particularly the book systems here in south, and also the S-300 systems. So routinely they use like towards 100 missiles on each scenario, and that's a lot of missiles. And still, when you're like talking about the amount of hits they get, it's pretty clear that if you are doing it smartly, you can stay out of harm's way, and you can be really successful with the fighters. I think practically any fighters you have on the HX program. And now I'm targeting the area again, because it seems that the former command didn't go through. And okay, now we lost the F-35, Rafale C there. So we only have 2 more hammers left. So it also had like a load of hammers still attached before it was dropped. I think it had like maybe 5 hammers there. So we lost a lot of ordnance as well. But of course that's secondary compared to that we lost the fighter, which the Finnish Air Force could not replace during the wartime unless the situation was really extraordinary. And now what happens? There's 2. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So now the S-300 system is red, so it's really heavily damaged, but it's not quite destroyed. So we have to do it one more time. How the command modern warfare usually operates, that you can fire like a normal salvo that comes from the missile defense of the simulation, or you can decide to drop 1, 2, or 55, whatever you might want to. You can drop on the target, but usually I think it's good to go with the salvos they recommend, and I think that would be the way to go, like in these kinds of engagements and systems. And now there's two more bombs away. So now we have in like 4 payway 2s in the theater with the commandant 1 who has been there for all the time. But the bomb droppers that came from the north, they have dropped their 2 last hammers, and let's see how it goes. So if they get a hit, that's nice, but we will see it shortly. So now we are just basically waiting for the bombs to fly, and let's put some speed here and see how it goes. And I think there is nothing to dissuade them, so they are gonna get killed now. And now, yeah, 2 bombs, and now it's destroyed. So there you have it. Thanks for listening.